That schoolboy defending.
The Eagles take on the Chiefs in Super Bowl 59. Place their head-to-head bet on the game, and if your team scores the first touchdown, get paid out early as a winner. See your account for personalised max stake limit. PointsBet. Feel different. Imagine what you could be buying instead.
Welcome back, everyone. It's the Aces NFL show. Sip's just landed. He's up and about. The big eagle has landed straight from the airport. So
Mate.
What an effort. We're recording this Thursday morning. We've just completed the AFC and NFC championship games. We have the rematch, Sip.
Oh, we do.
We have the rematch.
Yes, we do.
And if you want to talk to someone about the rematch, we've got him right here, baby, for 2 weeks. I mean, this is just unbelievable.
That's what they've always wanted.
This
is what
Ravens,
they wanted.
but the script wanted a rematch.
Yeah, that's all that happens in the end. You saw the red in the logo. You knew it was happening. So
Red and green. Now, that logo, I mean, you go by that logo graphic and people haven't seen it. Next year, it's very blue. They reckon it's a Bills Lions or potentially the Panthers.
The Panthers might come out of nowhere and get it done. Who knows? Interesting. But
wow.
rematch.
Let's just get straight into a quick just one thing, just how
One
you
thing.
felt. Just one thing, because we're just
One thing about it.
I'll set the scene for everyone.
Yep.
Today's podcast is all about reviewing the AFC and NFC championship games. We have the week off, so next week we're going to fire up with a big Super Bowl show, and then we have the big Super Bowl event at the Osbourne where we do a live event. But most of our work for the Super Bowl will be done next week. This is the review from the AFC and NFC, and there's a lot to talk about. Just one thing before we get right into
One thing that I found very quickly is that everyone was talking about the Eagles' offense, and they just dropped 55. Everybody was asking, how's the passing game? We know the run game's good. How's the passing game? Well, Jalen went out and threw 245, Tutty, and the offense got rolling again from the passing side of things. So if anybody's worried about it, they shouldn't be now. So that's the one thing that I take from the week for sure.
I've probably got two. The first one is Mitchell, just as a corner. I know
he's a star.
I just can't believe how
He's a
good
star.
he is. And,
He's a star.
And I think the second thing is, and I'm going to dive into this really soon, but how pathetic the Bills' play calling was.
It was rough going, wasn't it?
It's just, the offensive play calling is...
Yeah, especially when you've been able to get him a few times deep in that with Hollins and then that, you feel like you could maybe try and expose that a bit more, but and then obviously Cook was rolling pretty early too, so yeah.
Can I say something?
I'd love you to.
The tush push. Get rid of it! Get rid of it!
Why, mate?
You know what?
Why?
The Eagles can do it,
Why?
but everyone else, I can get rid of it. Just give the ball to the running back.
There's one team that can do it and nobody else can get it done. Was that a first down, though?
Okay. Was it a first down? Yes.
It was a first down.
I thought Kincaid got over. You know when they're 3rd and 3? I thought he got over.
Yep.
And then
I
they
thought
go
he did
quickly
too.
and go for the one.
Yep.
But it's amazing how far the refs are off.
Oh.
I know we're all speaking. One's in front of the line, one's behind the line, and then how does
none of the refs are actually up there on the yard line and that. It's all a guessing game because they run up there and just go, this is where it must have been, and it's all a guessing game.
Did they bring the chains out?
Nah.
Why don't the chains come out?
Well, I don't know. I still think the change is a bunch of bullshit anyway.
Yeah.
Because the refs just place the ball down and go, this is where we think it is.
Yeah.
And then the chains will come out. It's either has made it or it hasn't made it. I just think with the way technology is these days,
I was just about to say.
surely there is something that they're able to do to identify whether it actually is a first down or whether it's not. Modern technology in that, it just take it out of the ref's hands. Just like tennis. Exactly like tennis. Hawkeye has its thing. It's either hit the line or it doesn't. Simple as that. Surely there is something that's going to be similar in the NFL that can make that happen to make it a little bit more game-like and actual situations that really matter in a game, and just take it out of the ref's hands.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm just... It rattles you when it's that close, but as you know, you don't really care about those plays when you see what unfolds before it, and you're seeing this offense just run some shocking plays. Mate, I've got 7 blokes at my joint. We're all amateurs watching the game. I'm not going to sit here and say we've played the game like you, and we're going spread them out. The offense, they're also bunched up, and it's like, and Cook's not even on the field, and if he is on the field, doesn't get a touch. It's like,
Spreading him out also doesn't allow their corners to come in and rush like they did on that, basically on that fourth down play that Kincaid dropped. Like it doesn't actually allow them to potentially come in and be able to rush from the corner spot. So yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Crazy. Everything good though?
Everything's good. While you're flying in the air though, I saw a bit of Todd Gurley action going on. How was that?
Well, mate, it was good. As I said to you, running backs, they're just so nice.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mate,
that's two now that you've really got to kind of, or three.
Gibbsy in the casino, Bijan when I got the interview, and now Gurley.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He was, mate, I can't speak, more highly of him. I was that comfortable next to him. He was that nice.
Yeah.
You forget, he was the offensive player of the year.
He was the offensive player of the year with the Rams.
What you Saquon do this year.
He was the number one pick in fantasy. He was an absolute star.
I think it's 1,300 rushing, 700 receiving, and about 20 touchdowns.
He's a star.
So it was pretty cool to sit next to him. Big shout out to PointsBet for helping me organise that. We
awesome.
all flew up, and but you know what's cool? We got some stuff signed as well, and it was that nice. And I thought, well, I'll get a bit of extra stuff. So, Sip, we're going to do a little giveaway, and I've got an extra. So I'll start with the Aces community.
Yep.
I wanted to make sure we did something. So we have got a signed hat, signed by Todd himself, and says "Go Rams."
Yep.
And there's no jerseys out there anymore. We couldn't find his jersey, so this is the best we could find.
Yep.
And so he signed that as well. I'll hold it up. So,
that's legit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So it's just got the
that's awesome of him.
LA Rams. So we're going to give that one away. I've got to work out what we do. So I just want everyone that's listening, check out the social media.
Yep.
It'll probably be tag your two mates, share it to your story for an extra entry, and we'll run this one right up to Super Bowl. But that's pretty cool. These, and big shout out to Caps, our friends at Caps that supplied us some stuff under.
That's awesome.
It was a sprint to try.
Yeah,
I was trying to go to vintage stores to find a Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
And I actually had a couple of guys that had a Todd Gurley, but they didn't want to give them up.
No, yeah, of course.
Which I wouldn't want to either.
No way.
But also, mate, our friends at Caps, again, shout out, they gave me an extra hat, and I thought, well, me and you can't keep it, so why don't we just put it in the studio?
Why not?
Yeah.
We're starting. I reckon we can start to build up a little thing here as we get going.
So that can go behind you next to the footy.
What do you think? I reckon if we work behind.
Yeah, just next to the
up
footy.
or lower. What do you reckon?
I reckon
if we do that.
Bang, there you go.
Right
so
there,
slowly adding
over the shoulder.
Slowly adding some stuff. But
it's good.
As I said, we've done a podcast with Todd Gurley.
Yep.
If you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's pretty cool. We spoke about college. He got suspended for signing autographs because back then you can't do that. Now you can do it.
Yeah.
And then he did his ACL the first game back.
Yep.
Still went pick 10 to St. Louis Rams. They changed to the
LA Rams.
To the LA Rams, obviously, and then he turns into this machine. And quite quickly,
he was an out-and-out star.
6 years he only played. In 2020, he went back to Atlanta, and he's kind of just, I think, mentally done. Knee arthritis, all that stuff. But we spoke about the running back market. Why Saquon and Derek aren't getting paid like they should be. And he was pretty good about it. He said they should just do what Devo did and sign as a receiver because he's essentially both as well.
Yeah.
But check it out if you're an NFL fan. I think it's
Definitely
an amazing get, especially in Australia. You don't get to see big dogs like that. And we're lucky a few are coming through.
Yeah.
Another one, the Essendon boys, Guelphy and Laverde, they had Nobu with Joe Burrow.
Wow.
Yeah. I was messaging Guelph.
I did see that he was at the Australian Open, and we tried to work a little bit of magic, but we didn't quite get it done. We just missed him. But
there's a couple in town everyone's messaging in, like Micah Parsons. It's just
Parsons and that as well. They're in and out though, those guys, that's for sure.
But in and out. It's such a long it's so far away. I would have thought they have a week. It's just a couple of days.
Maybe it's moving around in terms of elsewhere, being not just in Melbourne, but going elsewhere too. But yeah, we definitely try, but we're work in progress. But awesome, like Todd Gurley getting that. That's terrific because he really was one of the best, if not the best. A good probably 7 or 8 years ago now, but just an out and out star. So that's incredible.
He's a touchdown machine.
Oh, he was.
I remember
absolutely.
I asked him. I'm going to put the clip up soon. But what's your favorite highlight?
Yeah.
And he spoke about it, and he goes, it was also week 17, so like he won everyone their championships. I was like, oh, mate,
I reckon you might have got me home too.
All right, well, let's get into it. Let's get into the hot takes really quickly, and we'll break down these games. And like we said, it's a review show today, but there's a lot of hot-headed people. Let's go to Red McPherson. Dalton Kincaid has to catch that bloody dolly of a chess mark. Our man Red McPherson, shout out. It was a bit of a Mark Andrews type of finish for the Bills.
A little
not
bit
as bad, but
yeah.
what do you think?
again, it's so hard. Like everything gets defined obviously by one play and that, but looking at it, you go, definitely a gettable catch to keep that drive alive. But also a fantastic kind of scheme run by the Chiefs defense too to get it going. But
as if they didn't think Spargs was going to blitz.
I've said it so many times in here. They blitz 33% of the time, and it's even higher when it's third or fourth down.
Yeah,
that's just what they do. So as I said, I don't understand why you have the wide receiver come in to allow them a chance to be able to blitz from the edge, from the cornerback position, and you just played into their hands. You just played it way into their hands. Spread him out and give Josh a goddamn chance to even run it if he has to on a 4th and 10. I don't know if everything else breaks down, but ultimately you still look at it and go, that was definitely a shot to be able to catch that ball and give him a shot, but not to be.
Here's a really interesting take. Someone hasn't had this take all year. Hayden Shade. Giants were right to let Saquon go. A player like that keeps you in no man's land. Tank properly.
I actually probably don't mind it, but you still fucked it and then won enough games to therefore still only have pick 4 when you're in need of obviously multiple things. So it's certainly, I don't think it's a quick fix for him, but yeah, I actually don't mind. I actually don't mind that call, to be honest. I really don't. But I just think that the Giants just have messed it up anyway. So you know what I mean? Like I understand where it's a fantastic call, but I still just think I still think they're actually in a bit of no man's land right now. There's more people that they need to get rid of first, and before they can kind of make any other moves. That's for sure.
Another one on Saquon from Phil42. Saquon may miss MVP, but he sure as shit will win Super Bowl MVP. The man can't be stopped. It's not a bad bet, is it?
It's not a bad bet. It's not a bad bet. This will be their toughest matchup that they've had all year in terms of the run game. There's no doubt in my mind about that. We'll speak more about that later. But if he can do what he's done all year against this D-line, then sure as shit he should win MVP. No doubt.
Ravens did have the one defense during the year.
Yeah.
He still went
and
100.
He still had 112-ish, something like that. 100, yeah. So
10 receiving.
So, things like that. That still would win you MVP, like Super Bowl MVP in my eyes anyway. Yeah.
A couple more here. Mahomes is better than Brady by a long shot from Max Rowe. Just quick comments now, Sip, so we can get into it.
Yep. Well, stats prove it, but still a long way to go.
John O'Brayshaw, Lattimore is washed. Quick, come on, Sip, quick.
Yep.
Damo Mangia, Patrick greater than TV12.
Already said.
Refs equal Chiefs from Thomas Fry.
Yep.
Logan Martin. Andy Reid's the GOAT.
He's starting to get up there. They win it this time round again, then yep.
O'Connor. It's Saquon or bust for the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Are they too dependent on one man to be Super Bowl winners?
Not after what you saw on the weekend, no.
And the same man has to be pressure on McDermott next year. A number of coaching errors cost the Bills. Yeah, I agree.
I think he has to. I think if there's anything less than what they did this year, then he's in trouble. Yep.
I don't know if he's in trouble. I just feel like they need to do something.
I just think it's a bit of a refresher though. If they can't get past Mahomes, I don't know which other way you go. Like it's been long enough, but yeah.
Sard, Eagles the real deal. Birds by 10. Saquon will rush for 102 tuds from Maxie Warren. Good day to have an anytime tuddy multi on from Barrett 1191. Well, geez, there's a lot of scoring.
There was. It was a lot.
Unfortunately for some of us.
It was great AFC championship games in terms of scoring. It was elite. Yeah.
What about my best bet going down? Jaden Daniels rushed his line and then got sacked for a 9-yard loss, and I lost my best bet. And I was already I actually had them all ticked.
I was right there with you.
And Kincaid dropped Shaw's, which is tick. And what was the other one you had? It was the touchdown from Zach Ertz.
I think I had Zach Ertz, and he had 112, and he no tutty. I was like,
I reckon that's like what's that, like $20 if he has 100. Do you know what I mean? Like you pick the exact player. We're all over it, to be honest. We just got to mix and match the.
It's not a bad one because it's like I expect him to get the ball, but I obviously expect him end zone, and he has that. He's had 9 catches for 100 yards. I'm like, well. What can you do about that?
Our man O'Connor. Crook to think players like Burrow, Allen, Lamar may never win a ring because of one bloke.
Yeah. the same as what Brady did to all those other guys too.
I think they're all good enough to get through him. Burrow and Brady are the only ones that have beaten him. And one more, but Katie Lovell. I hate fucking being a Bills fan. It would be tough being a Bills fan.
I do feel sorry.
I mean, being a Ravens fan's tough, but I feel like it hasn't been one man every time. It's something different. Yeah, and it's probably ourselves.
But the fact that they've never won one too, like it's tough. And they have had some outstanding teams.
Just on that, I didn't realize Philly's only won one Super Bowl.
They're 1-3. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And they have been very successful and had some really good years. They just ultimately haven't been able to get it done. Simple as that.
Well, we'll talk about the Super Bowl next week. We're going to talk about the AFC and NFC championship game. I'm going to start with the AFC. Some quick stats here, but Josh Allen, he threw 2 tutties, 237 in the air. Cook was enormous, 13 carries for 85 and 2 tuds. Also caught the ball for 49 yards, which is something he hasn't done for a while, even though I thought he could. But Max Hollins was our man Hollins. He was a machine.
Yeah, Mac Boy
Hollins,
he was massive for him in the end. Yeah,
he did it on their best corner as well. McDuffie was one-on-one with him, and his stock's definitely going up. He's put himself on the map with his pre-game fits.
He sure has.
He's a different unit. But if you go to Mahomes, this is why I don't like betting on Mahomes. No. Because he spreads the ball out, something shocking. Yeah. I think Worthy was the man that I took. He had 85. He was enormous, but everyone else had 2 or 3 catches. Worthy's the only one that had more than 3 catches. Yep. And then Hunt has taken over the backfield. So Pacheco, there's a lot of people that would have done their ass on Pacheco thinking he will come back. I don't think he's right to go.
No.
Hunt is the man with 17 carries, but it was Mahomes who was the highlight with his legs.
Yep.
And Juju Smith-Schuster, I should say, popping up for 2 catches. I think one for 31 and the other one for 29. So explosive stuff. But what did I say to you about Kelsey last week?
No, you were spot on with it. I couldn't agree more.
The
19
Bills had a game plan, and I thought it was working all right. It was working okay. But when you got blokes like Samaje Perine and Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, they just have so many plays.
So many weapons.
So, look, if I'm going to review it, I reviewed it to myself the other day before coming in here, and I just thought, the offensive coordinator, I honestly think that was the difference. Yeah. I thought the play calling was amazing from the Chiefs, as it always is. Yeah. Execution, spot on down the stretch. Yeah. And the tush-push copycat league it is, you're not the Eagles, and I just hated it. And
when you rush it, though, too, it doesn't help.
But how good is Josh Allen when he goes back and he has Cook there and he's got options and they spread him out wide and then he runs it. He's unstoppable. But when he's up on the line and he's running and he kept going left, and it's like the Chiefs are like, you're going to go left. All right, we know where you're going. Like, why wouldn't you practice to go right? I don't know. They maybe haven't done it, but I was very frustrated with that. I thought they had their chances. But you just can't underestimate how good Mahomes is. And I thought we tipped. I'm pretty sure I tipped Chiefs and Eagles. I thought that was what I thought would happen. All year I didn't think the Bills could do what they've done, and I must say they have had a year.
No, they've had
I didn't predict that.
No, neither did I.
They need something. They just need a weapon. They need a couple more play. I don't know. The Cook's been enormous.
Yeah.
Like I think about them going into the preseason and off season. Like Cook's been a huge.
Yeah.
There's a fair income future there with
for sure.
Allen, Cook. They've got a couple of young receivers, Shakir, Kincaid, and Coleman, but they need one more weapon. Yeah. And I did say to you, Tyreek Hill.
I thought Cooper would definitely help in the second half of the year, and he was nowhere to be seen. I just thought maybe just to relieve a bit of pressure off Coleman, and we got that for like 2 weeks. Coleman was explosive and then got injured, and he didn't come back in great shape, and then Cooper was just completely lost. And that was probably a bit of a shock. I really thought that would really open up their offense and get going, and it did for a period of time. And then when it counted, nowhere to be seen.
And Kincaid and Knox were non-existent this year. Like how much? Like I don't know whether it's the year before, but they felt like the touchdown machines.
They were. Kincaid especially was like he was a monster.
I don't reckon I sided them all year.
It was just a different style of play that they had, and Josh Allen obviously outstanding numbers. Right up there, obviously, for MVP. But they are missing, I definitely think they're missing a star wide receiver. Coleman's not going to be the kid just yet. Probably a bit too one-dimensional if you ask me right now. He's going to have the weapons and will grow on and get better, but they're missing a star wide receiver. I think that they missed Diggs. They did. They missed Stephon Diggs this year, I reckon. And they need someone of that kind of caliber, if not a little bit better, to be able to help and really shake things up. So
he really did get double teamed, and he took away their best corner, and he stretched the field. Because Coleman.
And he could line up in the slot in that as well, though. That was the thing, is that he was so dangerous in multiple areas that's what they needed. And Shakir is a good player. He's a very good player, but he's not that caliber of player, not yet anyway. And they just need somebody with that explosive power they can just go to in a situation when they need it the most.
The Chiefs side of things, I was also thinking about when we talk about a review here today, but they have that many weapons.
Yes, they do.
I looked at cap space for next year, and it's amazing that they've got cap space.
Yes. And they'll build it again.
Like, they have, like, you think about Hopkins just to make a play, one-on-one, like, good luck. And just more experience as well with the way he can, just doesn't drop the ball. You got Hollywood Brown. You got Worthy with enormous speed. And then you whack in these tight ends. Noah Gray's been non-existent, but, Travis Kelce, the greatest of all time pretty much. Mahomes can use his legs. Krispy Kremes. I mean, the Kareem Hunt, he is that
he's brought himself
powerful.
back to life.
Like, you can't just let him go. He'll just bulldoze his way through for 5. Then you bring in Piron if you want him for a couple of plays. There's that many weapons out there when they need it. Watson can make a play. And then their defense. So they are such a good team. Yeah. And it's going to be scary. And it's going to be a great Super Bowl. And we're going to talk about it next week. But I just think it's
they just know when to make plays when it counts. Don't they? They have the right personnel, and they have the right coaches to make those plays. And they are super, super smart when it comes to situational football. That's all what it comes down to.
Mahomes
really
using his legs and I feel like he does it every year in the playoffs.
Yep.
But well, hats off to him. You cannot. I know there's a lot of look. Did Josh Allen get over or not? But it wasn't like he's definitely over the line. It's like, what camera angle are we looking at?
It's very true.
As a viewer at home, I can't actually sit there and go, he 100% life on the line, got over the line. And the fact that we're reviewing that and the Kincaid drop, it's like they had their chances.
They did.
And they blew it.
No doubt.
But that's all I've really got on that game. I just thought third down, fourth down play calling was honestly the difference.
Yeah.
And how smooth. And
you're playing behind the sticks, behind the chains a little bit too. Like not only, some of them were obviously short in that, but I felt like for most of the time they always were in like a third or 7 and more or a fourth and 8 and more. And they're just having to make this like big play to keep themselves alive. And they did it a couple of times, but when push came to shove, they were short.
Well, mate, you talked to me about the NFC Championship game because it must have been easy to watch as an Eagle. First play. I mean,
unreal.
Have you guys seen the clip? Have you seen the clip I sent you of the Eagles fan? Of the Giants fan, and his mate's filming him, and he goes, and we got rid of fucking Saquon Barkley, and it's the first play, and he goes, watch this, and it's live, and Saquon busts a 60-yard rush, and he goes, and I won't repeat what he says.
So
I don't know, man, but I just think if you're a Giants fan, and you keep watching what Saquon does, like it's amazing to see, and I reckon there are a few that might start wearing Philly jerseys.
Oh, seriously, probably could. No, it definitely helps, obviously, when you've actually got a good O-line.
Yes.
No doubt. But, astonishing stuff.
That first touchdown was unbelievable.
Astonishing stuff. It just set the tone for the rest of the game, really, didn't it? And it just, the Commanders were playing catch-up the whole time, really. When it came down to it, they had some great moments, but they just were playing catch-up the whole time. They just couldn't stop. They just couldn't stop anything.
The defense of the Eagles probably doesn't get talked about enough because of the 55 they put up on offense, but 3 or 4 takeaways versus none.
Yeah. It's the difference in the game.
It is the difference. We said this with the Lions
especially
game.
when you score off it too and where you have the turnovers. It's the difference in the game.
And when you run the ball like they do, it's you can't just Daniels really struggled to get the ball. Daniels could not get the ball up there. Look, Ertz had 104, but his longest catch was 21. He had 11 catches.
Yeah.
They had 1 explosive play or maybe 2. They had 3 because one was the old fake kick.
The fake punt.
Sorry, like how good was that? But that's honestly like game.
But that's what you knew. That's what they needed to do. That they knew that's what they needed to do to keep in the game.
Yeah.
They knew they had to have a scheme like that or something set up for it in case.
Fake punt. I mean, they executed that throw
Perfectly.
beautifully.
Had to get it done to keep possession of the ball, because if they're punting that away and stuff when it's 14-3, I think it was at the time, you're like, oh my gosh, we haven't stopped them yet. 21-3 before we know it.
But
Up,
mate, it's 21.
Well, no, I get it too. I get it too.
It's unbelievable.
But it's just how it works. You need to find a way to keep your hands on the ball and keep the defense out there as best you possibly can. But they just controlled everything.
Everything. Like
the Eagles just controlled everything.
Everything.
And Daniel still puts up 255, and he had a solid game, but it really what it just came down to is just there was, again, we spoke about weapons of the Chiefs. There was just way too many weapons for the Eagles. You've got Saquon that has 15 carries, 118 yards, 3 touchdowns. Hurts had 3 tutties, obviously a couple of the tush pushes, but he still had 3 tutties. He's also thrown for 246 and had a touchdown himself. AJ Brown, 6 catches, 96 yards, touchdown. Dallas Goedert, 7 catches for 85. Smith, 4 catches for 45. So it's like how do you stop?
Yeah.
Again, same thing. And then you even got Dallas Goedert, 2 jet sweeps, as well in there as well.
The play calling was enormous.
Immaculate play calling. And another thing that, again, that the Chiefs offense have to look out for in that, it's just unbelievable. And you just, where do you go? It's the same thing. It's like, it's going to be tough to be able to stop all of them at once. Firstly, foremost, you have to obviously stop the run. No doubt.
I just don't think you can stop it.
Yeah. You have to find a way to be able to stop it as best you can.
I don't think you can
stop it.
stop
But it's the best O-line in the competition against, I think, maybe number 2 D-line in the competition. Let's just get after it.
But it's not only that.
Let's just get after it.
It's the running back ability to go, you know what, stack the box, I'll run outside it.
That's exactly right.
I think it's JJ Watt that tweeted that, and it's like so true.
It's so
like,
true.
You stack it, we'll run it out, because you know you ain't going to come press up. Where's AJ Brown?
And where's he scored from? Getting outside of the box and away you go. It's like, good luck. Get him ahead of steam. Whew, we've seen what he can do. And it was just, they just played better football in the end. Turnover game that we spoke about. You can't have 3 or 4 turnovers and expect to give yourself a chance. They had it. They did have a chance. It was 34-23 at one stage, and they got the ball, I think, close to their red zone. What do you know? Another turnover, and it was like, all right, game's basically over there. And they just took control when they needed to, run down the clock, play possession football, play situational football, and they were just way too good in the end and completely dominated the game.
It's going to be fascinating. I mean, how many times do you just see a breakaway run from Saquon Barkley? I don't know if you've only just landed, so you might not have seen this promo that we've got from PointsBet.
Wow, what do we got?
Week. Have you seen it?
I have not. What do we got?
Well, let me just let everyone listen to this, because Shaq will explain it better, and so will the PointsBet team. But listen to this little promo, Sip, because this is probably the best one I've ever heard.
That schoolboy defending.
The Eagles take on the Chiefs in Super Bowl 59. Place their head-to-head bet on the game, and if your team scores the first touchdown, get paid out early as a winner. See your account for personalised max stake limit. PointsBet. Feel different. Imagine what you could be buying instead.
Wow.
How good's that?
That's elite.
If your man scores the first touchdown, or your team, you get paid out as a winner.
Wow.
Gamble responsibly as always, but that's pretty cool. That's a cool promo.
That's a very good promo.
Yeah, so it's going to be really fun, and we'll be looking at that coin toss, because whoever starts,
we're going to be looking at the coin toss for sure. Wow,
but yeah, that's a juicy one there from our boys, and
that's very good.
I know we've got the big Super Bowl show next week, but it's exciting, Sip.
It is. It's a massive one. Rematch, as we spoke about, from 2 completely different sides compared to the last time they were in the Super Bowl, and yeah, I think it's going to be set up to be an absolute cracker.
It's going to be a cracker. What's this week like? I want to ask this as a bloke that has no idea, but there's obviously the Pro Bowl going on. But as a player that's played in a Super Bowl, what does your week look like when it's the week off?
Yeah, so obviously you play the game on Sunday and you rock up on the Monday, and you've got the NFL coming in and basically trying to get you all sorted for accommodation, tickets, room allocation stuff. There's a bit to it in terms of the travel and that. So have a meeting in the morning to set that all up so it's kind of out of the way. And then you obviously give it to the lovely partners to be able to organise and that while you're still training. So normal training days on a Wednesday and a Thursday, and then a light one on a Friday morning. Give yourself the Saturday off to kind of get going, and then Sunday you actually fly out. So the week before the Super Bowl, you actually fly out to the destination. The following Monday's a big one in terms of media and everything like that. A little bit of training stuff going on there and that, and then big media kind of late afternoon, evening, and you try and keep it as normal as you possibly can and turn the rest of your training stuff. But there's a lot of things that go on into the build up, a lot of media expectation, and things like that go with it too. That it's all part of the, all part of the week that you have. But yeah, you just kind of, this period here is really just trying to get the bodies right to, go through a few things that you want to do, that you want to get right yourself, and obviously be able to stop the opposition, and you build yourself up ready to go going into next week. So yeah, big refresher.
Physically, is there a lot of training, or they let you have more recovery?
Like, there's certainly more emphasis on, at least when I was there was certainly more emphasis on recovery and getting the bodies right. The training sessions that you'd have normally, aren't as long in this week that's going ahead. Not as long as what you normally are. Gives the boys a chance to be able to refresh the bodies and get going. And then obviously the next week you make it as normal as you possibly can in terms of the build up. So that's normally the way it goes.
And your memories of just training at another facility and being it was Arizona, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was in Arizona. So we trained at the Cardinals facility. That was pretty sweet. So they had a good setup there and that, which was excellent. And they're obviously very good in terms of their staff and our staff working together to get all the locker rooms ready, gym, everything like that. So it was
they full brand
it was very good. They didn't fully brand it.
Is that weird?
I don't think so. I think it was fine, just the way, how they kind of had it set up and everything like that. You didn't spend a ton of time there and that, but it was still pretty good to be able to just kind of, different scenery and go check out another team's facility and all that, which was excellent. And yeah, mate, it was that you just kind of build it up as normal as you possibly can. But obviously, yeah, it was a pretty cool experience.
Unbelievable. Well, mate, it must bring back some amazing memories. It's going to be cool. The rematch, it just, all year I'm thinking Ravens and Philly, but it's right in front of us. And it's weird that I've got this top. I'm not a Chiefs fan at all. I'm just wearing this because I don't have anything else to wear. We wore this last week, and I'm like, I've already got the photos to hype up the show. How good's that?
You've done well.
Well, mate, speaking of hyping, we need to hype up our Super Bowl live event at the Osbourne. If you haven't got a ticket, we would love to see you down there. We're going to put the ticket link in the show notes. It's going to be on our social media at American Aces. But come down. I think it's about $149 for a ticket. You get your free food and your piss.
Yep.
You get
DJ on afterwards as well. It's a whole day experience for you, starting I think at 9:30, which is starting with us, of course.
We're starting at the top.
So we start at the top, and then obviously the game being just after 10:30, and the DJ's on after. So it's a big day for you.
Big morning.
You'll certainly be able to enjoy it, that's for sure. So
get down. It would be good to see all the NFL community as well.
Absolutely.
And our man Danny Bean, I haven't forgotten you, mate. We'll talk about you next week. But I did have a look, and the SIP's gone down to 3.
I went down. I went for the Bills. I rode the Bills train.
He went hard, but you can't lose. I think you're up by 2.
Well done.
So congratulations, great man. We'll get in contact with you, and we'll get you something juicy. But I think the last thing is, check out his Todd Gurley jersey sign and a hat. This could be your chance to win. I tell you what, it took a lot for me to give this up. I wanted to keep it myself. I thought you guys are way more important than me. So make sure you check that out on social media. We'll get that up over the next few days. And we'll run that one next week as well, and we'll announce the winner probably next week's pod.
Sounds good.
It's going to be a great show.
It is.
We'll be talking all about the Super Bowl.
It's a big week.
It's been tough. I'm not talking about.
I'm trying to hold it together as best we can.
How much stuff have we been saying? We got players that
I've got the notes all written up, ready to go. It's going to be a massive preview. There's no doubt about that. There's a lot to talk about. We will break it down perfectly for everyone. And get you all geared up for what's going to be the biggest game of the year.
Did you see my Uber driver's prediction?
I didn't actually.
Oh, wow. One of the weirdest Uber drivers I've ever had in my life.
Excellent.
Brazilian spiritual kind of man.
Oh,
and he actually had a crystal ball in his car.
Wow. Okay.
And I said, who wins the Super Bowl? And he says Philadelphia Eagles. So there you go. I know. And then
there's a lot of superstitions going around, which we'll also talk about next week as well. And we're excited for.
The energy, you can feel the positivity.
Feel it.
He reckons he knows how the frequencies work, and
the cloudiness must have been real in that crystal ball.
There you go. Well, that's all we've got. Short, sharp review of the AFC and NFC. But next week it's the big dance, and we can't wait. Thank you to everyone that tunes in every week. It's quite sad that the season's nearly done, but it's not just done yet. We've got a big week next week. the Super Bowl, the Eagles taking on the Chiefs. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.
That schoolboy defending.
The Eagles take on the Chiefs in Super Bowl 59. Place a head-to-head bet on the game, and if your team scores the first touchdown, get paid out early as a winner. See your account for personalised max stake limit. PointsBet. Feel different. Imagine what you could be buying instead.